We'll steal Kirby's stats right here.
All right, here we go. All right. DawgsHQ live with you post-game here. And a game that Georgia has been waiting on all season. I think that's fair to say, Rusty Mansell. Welcome in, DawgsHQ live with you after the game. Georgia closes this thing out 51-13, a convincing win for the Bulldogs in Athens.
Say what?
I said, if you want to put my camera on that chair with the tripod.
Okay.
I'm in.
Yeah,
Palmer's trying to distract me over here.
Oh, I thought that was Claude Felton, maybe. Trying to give you some notes here. But Rusty, let's just dive right in, man. 51-13, Georgia closes this thing out in convincing fashion, jumps out to the fast start that people had hoped for all season. Your takeaways from today in Athens?
Man, let's look real comfortable. I mean, from the first get-go, I worked the middle of the field against the linebackers and their safeties, and you saw Brock Bowers, getting vertical. You saw a lot of balls out on the edge as well. So you look at Carson Beck and the things that he did, he just looks like he has firm grasp of this offense, man. Right now, everything looks easy. Looks like things have slowed down for him.
Yeah, no question about it, man. I think that I think it certainly looked that way for everybody. Georgia, like I said, just came out of the gate swinging. That was the big thing for me. I think people had been waiting to see, could Georgia do that? Would they put one together that would like this? And it's first three possessions, if I'm not mistaken, out of the gate, touchdowns to start this game off. Just really don't allow Kentucky to play their game.
Yeah, I think Ray Davis had 51 yards. Leary had 126 passing yards. They really kind of got to him a little bit tonight. But I think Georgia, one thing continues to do is break tackles. Standing on the sideline tonight, you got to see a lot of plays that would have been 5-6 yard gains end up being 8, 9, 10, and even chunk plays because of that. And, it's not just Brock Bowers breaking tackles, Dejon Edwards. I thought Kendall Milton looked really physical when he came in tonight as well. So you look at how Georgia was able to do that, some of the things they accomplished tonight. I thought Mike Bobo caught a hell of a game and really had Kentucky. I just don't think they had an answer for what the package Georgia was bringing tonight.
You ready?
Yeah, no question about it. Carson Beck plays his most complete game, I think, of the season. 28-35, 389 yards, 4 touchdowns, 80% on the completions, 1 bad interception. But I did make the point on the message board to say great effort from him to get up and make a tackle after making that interception. That'll win the boys back over after something like that.
Yeah, I think Jake, when he gets the chances, and I think everybody here, I think the offensive line had a hell of a game. I think the interior handled Kentucky. To be able to give a quarterback that much time tonight and really didn't get to Carson Beck much at all. The offensive line played well, and they rotate a lot of people. Michael Morris again played. Dylan Fairchild played guard there as well. So they rotate a lot. Jared Wilson came in when Cedric Van Pran went down for the rest of that series, and you just like to see those types of things.
Hell of a thing, hell of a catch from Ra Thomas too. There early in the game.
That's the next player that they need to step up, and he looks confident. And again, we talked about it. There were some questions on whether he knew the playbook or not. Well, when they were down 2 touchdowns against South Carolina, they put Ra Thomas in the game. And tonight, you see him. He started tonight, and he got some targets. And that play he made in the end zone, man, that was a hell of a catch.
The main thing I think that people would say if there was a criticism tonight was that the defense wasn't playing as sharp as they wanted, especially in that first half. Kirby Smart was kind of clear to point that out going into the half and then even coming out of it and saying, hey, look, we're going to have to continue scoring points because we're not playing great defensively. Being there, seeing it in person, what was your takeaway from the defense? What more could they have done that they didn't do tonight?
Well, the positive thing I talked about this week was getting the quarterback to the ground. They've got pressures, but tonight, the second half specifically, they got him to the ground. You saw Jalen Walker twice got a sack. You see Raylan Wilson come in there and get some pressure. So Smile Monday was in there as well. But that's a big deal to get the guys to the ground and not just get quarterback pressure sometimes because, that's the next step. And I think Jalen Walker is getting better as a pass rusher. He got held again tonight, finally got a penalty called on against him. But, that to me is the biggest thing is not just getting pressure, but getting the quarterback down. I think they dialed Pop Johnson had a sack, also had another assist. So I think this, I haven't watched the tape yet, but I think this could have been Pop's best game. He looked to me like he had that speed back, like he was ready to go.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought Jamon Dumas-Johnson played his best game of the season for sure.
Yeah.
I'm curious because watching it on TV versus being in the stadium, Kentucky, man, seemed like they were a little bit in their head. They seemed like there was a lot of nerves around this one. There was some aggression maybe that they came into this game with that kind of betrayed them with some kind of bad penalties that kind of set them behind the sticks early.
Well, I'm not at every game, so let me say that before you see the comments. But I will say this: that Kentucky was very chippy in pregame, and they had some words for Georgia, and I thought, you know what, they're either confident or they don't know yet. And obviously, they probably didn't. They brought some things on coming out on the field and stopped some players, from the Georgia's warm-ups, and kind of had some words with them. And I thought, man, you don't poke that bear unless you really, you're bringing something else. And I think 3 series in a row, Georgia opens up with a touchdown, and you just don't do that to a team, especially in an atmosphere like this. The crowd was great. I mean, this place was rocking all night long. So, I think Kentucky, they got hit in the mouth. I've said this about Georgia. Georgia got hit in the mouth against South Carolina. They came back. They got hit in the mouth again last week at Auburn. They came back. Kentucky got hit in the mouth tonight, and they never recovered.
Brock Bowers. What can you say, man, at this point? I mean, that hasn't already been said. Another tremendous performance, 7 for 132, a touchdown, averaging 18.9 tonight. Just an outstanding performance for him. Greg McElroy said on the broadcast, if he's not top 3 for the Heisman, it's an indictment of the award.
Yeah, look, I agree. And here's the thing, too, I'll say with that is Georgia fans are on the fence about coming to games. You got 2 more chances to see Brock Bowers play in Athens, Georgia, and that's it. And he's going to be in the NFL. But what a special player. He plays so hard, man. I noticed tonight on a play, he was in motion and the ball didn't go to him. And he ran in motion 120 miles an hour to carry out, his fake and little things like that. Man, that guy is such a weapon. And, when Bowers caught that touchdown in the second half there, man, you could see I was standing right there on the 30, and the players, they just erupted, man. They love that guy. They know how he is, how he's respected in that locker room. So you see those little type of celebrations. I mean, people were coming off the bench to give him some love, and it tells you what type of player he is.
Carson Beck. Is he the guy we saw tonight, or is he the guy who's been? Where is he at? I guess in this thing, tonight I felt like, he came out slinging. They dialed it up for him. It was clear that was where they wanted to go early on. But Beck, I think, showed some really big steps forward tonight.
I'll tell you what, man. In person, I've seen him throw, and I've seen him throw multiple times. I saw him throw in high school. But in person, man, he's just different. I mean, this ball comes out of his hands. And don't forget, last week he was 8 for 13 on 3rd downs at Auburn. And don't think that doesn't carry momentum with you into the next play, into the next week. And then what he did tonight, listen, if Carson Beck is this type of player, Georgia's a different football team, because he makes you think now, we got to try to get to him. We're going to leave some one-on-ones, because if you sit back and let him deal on you, something like a 50 burger can get put on you in a heartbeat.
Yeah, absolutely. I still am of the mind, though, after watching that game, Georgia has not played a totally complete game yet. This was a window into what they can be, what they can do. But when you're talking about this from a defensive side, like I said, in that first half, felt like they could have done more. It's, to me, probably pretty scary if you're trying to look at where Georgia is right now, as opposed to if they can put all these pieces together at one time. That's giving people fits, man.
We've all been there. You're watching another team. So Florida fans watching tonight going, damn it. Tennessee fans watching tonight going, damn it. Everybody else going, my God, they're good again. And I saw Peter Bird's tweet something right before I walked in this press conference. He said, look, we're just living in Georgia's world again, until somebody, and I said this last week, and I wasn't being cocky about it. I mean this in a sincere way. They're the defending 2-time national champions. You got to knock them out. You're not going to hit them in the mouth, because this team has won. I think somebody tweeted tonight, and I don't know 100%, so we'll check this, that they've won 33 regular SEC games in a row. Not the championship, but they've won 33 regular SEC, and that's a record now. So you're talking about one of the greatest streaks ever in the history of the Southeastern Conference. And they're just really getting going. When you look at Georgia, when you look at Carson Beck and how he's developing, they're going to get healthy because don't forget, their NFL first-round offensive tackle hasn't played in a couple of weeks. And, oh, by the way, he was walking around tonight with nothing on his ankle in tennis shoes, and that was he's a lot further along than I thought he was.
Yeah, absolutely. Kirby pointed a lot to the rushing attack tonight, really helping Beck out and allowing for that to open up the play action, gave him a lot of flexibility. I thought Dejan Edwards was chugging for yards, man. He was really working hard for him tonight.
Yeah.
Kendall Milton looked the healthiest he's been all season too, and that seemed like a big differentiator.
Yeah, for lack of a better word, man, he ran like pissed off. You know what I mean? I don't know how way to say that other than, he was physical. He brought it to Kentucky, and he was in, and he's an upperclassman. He kind of knows what's going on. He sits there and looks at that and goes, "Hey, there's some guys getting carries." So you got to watch.
No, I was going to say there was a couple of moments I think where people got a little bit nervous. Brock Bowers goes off for a second with an injury. Looked like he was wincing a little bit. Cedric Van Pran goes down for a moment as well. Jared Wilson steps in for him in the moment. Both of those guys coming back looked like they were having no problems after that as well.
Yeah, everybody looked good. When I saw everybody looked healthy, they came back in. So Kirby will be here in just a second. I'm about to get off here in a minute, but you guys can. I'm sure they'll get some injury updates. But Marius Mims walking around in tennis shoes with nothing on his ankle tonight. That's real. That's real good news. And you go into Vandy and you got a bye week, so you look at that and say, can you get this guy back? And it was funny. He was standing there, and all these scouts. I was standing behind all these NFL scouts, and he walked by. Every one of them got out their little notebooks and started making notes. I would love to see what they were. A Texans guy pulled his notebook out like immediately. It was like I saw him making notes. I'd love to see what he wrote down. But he's a special person in person. That when you see him live, for sure.
Last thing before we get off of here, Rusty.
Yep.
A quick grade on Georgia's performance tonight. I had to kind of stack this one up.
Man, you got to have an A. I mean, any time you put 51 on an SEC team at home. And an undefeated Kentucky team that, listen, they ran Florida out of the building last week. So it's different week to week. But when you look at Georgia and the win they had tonight and the way they played, that is something that somebody on the sideline told me, man, Kirby wanted to be pissed off at halftime, but he didn't have anything to be pissed off about. So maybe he got something in the second half he was upset about. Maybe an interception got him, but he said, man, that's a good deal to have, and Kirby can't be pissed off at halftime of an SEC home game.
Well, hey, listen, I know Kirby's going to be pissed off if you're up there in front of his podium.
There's no doubt. I got to get there so I don't have to be running bleachers tonight.
Yeah. We're going to wrap this one up. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Get over to DawgsHQ. Check us out. $1 for 1 month. You can always get that deal over at DawgsHQ. If you haven't given us a try, please do so. Georgia, 51. Kentucky, 13. Dogs undefeated on the season will stay at number 1 and move into Vanderbilt next week. Looking forward to that one, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. DawgsHQ, where you need to be for your Dogs news. This is Jake Roos. We'll catch you guys later.